Hey everyone, it's me Kath, and today I'm here to do a book haul. Now this isn't going to be a big book haul, you can probably see the little pile I've got there. This is just all the books I've accumulated so far in 2020. So without any further ado, let's get into the books. So first up, the book I want to talk about is Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. This paperback was released last week. I think it was exactly a week ago now. Was it last Thursday? I think it was the 14th, either it came out on the 14th of the 15th. I actually received this early, I got it on the Monday. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen. And this is the third full-length novel in the Witchlands series, and it is my favourite. I have actually already read this. I read this as soon as it came out last February. February 2019. I listened to an audiobook and it was excellent. It was one of my favourites of 2019. Obviously I can't talk too much about this because spoilers, but the first book in the Witchland series is Truth Witch, and this follows Safi, who is a Truth Witch. But the thing is, she has to keep her witchery a secret, because if anybody was to find out, people would kill to have her, basically. There probably would be wars started over her, because as far as the Witchlands are concerned, if I'm remembering correctly, Truth Witches don't exist anymore. Like, they died out, and I don't know how long ago. It's been a while since I've read it. And now that I have Blood Witch, actually, I'm quite tempted to do a series reread, but that's gonna wait. That's got to wait. And it follows Safi and her best friend Isolde, as basically they just want to get enough money together to get their own place so they can live and do as they please. But things go so wrong, and they get roped into the politics of this world, and this world that is on the edge of a war, because we're coming to the end of sort of like a peace, like a truce, where they can't war with each other, and they're coming to the end, and there are people obviously that do not want this truce to be redone. So basically this whole world is on the brink of war, and Safi and Isolde find themselves pretty much slap bang in the middle of it. And it is really good, really good. So far there are 4 books in total. There's Truth Witch, which is the first book, Wind Witch, which is book 2. Then we have Sight Witch, which is a novella. I do not have a physical edition of this, but I do have it on Kindle. So that is a novella. It's a prequel novella, but it is meant to be read. I don't like to say that novellas are a mandatory read, but reading Sight Witch sets you up for Blood Witch. Like, it arms you with knowledge for Blood Witch, and you will read the whole thing because it's all amazing. And the next book is coming out next year, and I'm so excited. So the rest of the books in this haul are all Japanese, because I have made it my goal this year to read more Japanese fiction. And I have a sub-goal of reading more books by Japanese female authors. This haul does not reflect that, because it's a goal I only recently made, so only one of these is actually a book that goes towards that particular goal, but I am rambling far too much, so let's just get into the books. So first up, we have 3 Japanese short stories, which, as you might imagine, is a collection of 3 very short Japanese stories, translated by J. Rubin. So the 3 stories we have are Behind the Prison by Nagai Kafu, Closet LLB by Uno Koji, and General Kim by Akutagawa Ryunosuke. I have not read anything by any of these authors. The only one I've heard of is Akutagawa, which I guess is why he's the name on the front, Akutagawa and others. I don't read enough short story collections, and I find this is probably a great way to get to know different authors, so I'm excited to get to this. Next we have my first book that was going to go towards my goal of reading more Japanese women authors, and it is Real World by Natsuo Kirino, translated by Philip Gabriel. And I actually have no idea what this is about, but when I was looking up lists of like female authors that you should read, Natsuo Kirino was on that list. I originally was going to read her, was it her debut, or at least the one that was first translated into English, which is out, but she is a crime mystery writer, and I enjoy those sorts of stories, so I'm really excited to get to this. I actually have no idea what this is about. So basically we have these 4 high school girls, and then one of their neighbours ends up brutally murdered, and the girls suspect that it's the neighbour's son. But then he disappears and they get drawn into all sorts of shit, looks like. So should be a good time. So now I know what it's about, I'm actually really excited to get to this, so I might read this quite soon, but we will see. So next up we have another collection of short stories, and that is Prefecture D by Hideo Yokoyama. I have actually read one of Yokoyama's works, and that is 6-4, which I read about 3 years ago now, I think. About 3 years ago. But this is a collection of 4 short stories, and since his last work was like a crime sort of police novel, I'm expecting these 4 are also the same. So we have Season of Shadows, Cry of the Earth, Black Lines, and Briefcase. I enjoyed 6-4 a lot. It was different from other like mystery crime I've read, as in that it was focused on not the police. Well, it was the police, but it was the press section of the police, and it was probably not for everybody because it wasn't fast paced at all. It followed more like the politics behind it, the politics and the inner workings of the police force. So that was really interesting for me. So I'm really interested actually to see what these are going to be like, whether because they're short stories. I mean, short stories naturally are faster paced, just due to the nature of them not having as many pages. So I'll be interested to see how these are, what these are like. So the rest of these are all manga that I have bought for myself. We're going to start off with No Longer Human by Junji Ito, which is actually an adaptation of the original novel by Osamu Dazai. So I actually have the original of this, which I haven't read in a long time, so I'm quite tempted to do a reread and then before I read this. I've only read one other Junji Ito work, and that is Uzumaki, which I read last October. I think I really enjoyed, like, his artwork is quite unsettling, so I'm kind of really interested to see how he went about adapting this. And also I bought it as well because the cover is like stunning. Like, look at that, it looks, I don't actually know if it goes all the way around. It does go all the way around, like, that's really cool. Really cool cover. The only problem is it is white, and I have already like scuffed it a little bit. It's not too noticeable, but yeah, so I'm actually quite tempted to do a whole reread of No Longer Human, and then get on to reading this adaptation of it. So the rest of these manga are in Japanese because I bought them to encourage me to practice my Japanese reading, because I have let it go a lot. So first up I have volumes 2 and 3 of Tokyo Ghoul by Ishida Sui. I read the first volume earlier this year actually, and just purchased 2 and 3 to continue. And Tokyo Ghoul, if you are unaware, is set in our world, set in Tokyo, in Japan. No shit. Only in this world, ghouls are a thing that exist, and they appear to be human. I can't quite remember if it's they do naturally look like humans, or whether they just adopted a human appearance so that they can blend in, because they need to feed on humans. They get their food, their sustenance from human flesh, human meat, from the humans. So naturally, people are afraid of ghouls, and it follows Kaneki Ken as he finds himself caught up in this world of ghouls. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, he finds himself on the brink of like a war between ghouls and non-ghouls. Like, it's about to go down from what I can recall. So I read the first volume earlier this year, and then just purchased 2 and 3 to continue with that series. Okay, so next up we have volumes 1 and 2 of Attack on Titan No Regrets. I have talked about volume 1 because I read that last month, was it? Yeah, it was the only book I finished last month. So these are a spin-off prequel series based on a light novel of the same name, and it is written by Gunsnart and illustrated by Hikaru Suruga. This is Levi and how he comes to join the Survey Corps. I have actually already read these. I did reread this earlier this year. I have yet to reread this one. So next up we have Volume 1 of Attack on Titan, the main series by Isayama Hajime. And this, if you don't know anything about Attack on Titan is set in a world where humanity has basically been forced to live within these walls and are unable to venture outside of the walls, because outside are beings called Titans, which are humongous, like humanoid creatures that eat humans. So humanity's been forced to live inside these walls, and at the very beginning, when we start, the outer wall is breached and humanity is forced further in, and we're following Eren Yeager as he basically decides he's going to join the Survey Corps. And so we're following him as he trains up, and basically this is a war between humanity and the Titans, and I really enjoy it. I don't actually own any of the manga yet, so I figured this was a time to pick it up. Next up we have Noragami by Adachi Toka, which is an anime series that I watched last year, year before. I actually recently did a rewatch of it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I still haven't finished the anime actually, I haven't finished season 2. But basically we are following Yato, who is a god for hire of sorts. Basically he leaves his name and number, and he's open to do, basically he's a handyman. He will do anything and everything, and he only asks for, is it 5 yen? I think he only asks for 5 yen, which is next to nothing. So he only charges 5 yen, but he will do everything. He will babysit, he will clean your bathroom, he will man a convenience store if you've got no staff, you know what I mean? He also does god stuff sometimes, but basically we follow him as he meets this young girl who finds herself sort of stuck in between. She's not dead, but she's not quite in the world of the living. She's sort of like in the middle, and basically she hires Yato to help her get back to some normality, and we're following them as they go about adventuring and stuff, and it's really good and I really enjoy it. And I thought, you know what, I need the manga, so here we are. And then last up we have Kimi ni Todoke by Shiina Karuho. I first read Kimi ni Todoke many years ago. I think I was still at uni actually when I first discovered Kimi ni Todoke, and it is the cutest thing. It is so fluffy and I love it so much. I actually am so behind now on the manga because I did that thing where I got caught up, and then I can't read things as they come out. I can only do it for so long before I forget, and then it starts to pile up, and then I just can't be bothered anymore. So now that I've started collecting the actual manga volumes, and hopefully I will keep this up. But basically we're following Sawako, who is a girl who doesn't have any friends at school to begin with, because people find her scary. She has long black hair, and I think they even call her Sadako. Which is the girl from The Ring, I believe. I have not seen it, but I'm pretty sure her name's Sadako. I love her so much. Like I just want her to be happy. I will die for Sawako. Following her, she's navigating through high school and like making friends for like the first time, and it is so cute and I love it so much. And obviously she's dealing with like a crush as well, as the front would give you some clue, and I adore this. Again, I think I actually watched the anime of this for so long, for a little bit. I think that's how I found it, through the anime, and then the anime obviously was so far behind that I sought out the manga to read the manga, and it's so cute and I love it, and I need to start getting more of these because I love it so much, it's so good. So those are all the books that I have purchased for myself so far in 2020. Let me know if you've read any of them, whether you intend to read any of them, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye! Okay. Let's just cool down a bit. Cool. Cool. I need to stop that oscillating. Okay, just blow on me for a bit. There we go, there we go. Cool me down, cool me down.